Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the top 10 rating increases for Season 22 in the Go Battle League. We're going to take a look at here, again, 10 Pokemon that you definitely want to build. There are going to be more videos towards this as well, where we're going to take a look at more Pokemon as well. But today we're going to take a look at the Pokemon that had the highest rating increases, so like the most amount of ratings buffed for them. Compared to the last season, and you're gonna see exactly what I mean with this one when we start into the video. But if you enjoy this type of videos, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe. It is free and supports the channel, and we can move on now to the first Pokemon here, which is the number 10 spot here, I guess, Blastoise. I'm only going to take a look, by the way, at Pokemon that are currently in the top 100 from the current PvPoke rankings. But yeah, Blastoise got minus 116 ranking, putting it all the way down to 47 as a rank on PvPoke. So climbing up 116 ranks here is going to be quite a good thing forward. And as you're going to see here, we're going to have already beforehand on the left side, see that Blastoise actually was really solid. Like, Blastoise was never really bad, but like people were just not using it. Now with the rollout, yeah, it just is better. It is just quite a bit better, but also it wasn't bad before. But rollout plus Hydro Cannon going to be crazy. Scalp is going to give you great coverage, especially against Pokemon like Lapras, but also boosting your own defense. That is going to be quite delicious. And so Blastoise is going to be a very good Pokemon to run and is the number 10 spot of this list. Moving on, Pokemon number 9 is going to be Jellicent, climbing up 178 points here, or like 178 ranks, all the way up to rank 17. So this Pokemon going to be top tier meta, and I would assume that this is going to be super worth building. Jellicent is going to be something people definitely should look into, because it was already very solid before. Not got nerfed with Surf, and it came back now with the Hex buff for sure. And as you will see here, it's looking really overpowered in the current season. Going to have 25 wins, 20 losses from 15 wins, so plus 10 wins total is ridiculous. This Pokemon is so good now thanks to the Hex buff, and Jellicent is going to be the number 9 spot in terms of Pokemon that climbed up the most amount of ranks. Funnily enough, next up is going to be Swalot. We're going to see here it climbed up 185 ranks, all the way up to 78, which I did not expect at all. Of course, Sludge got added to this Pokemon, but yeah, it did not look good at all before, and it still doesn't look that great, I would say. But yeah, this is already the new meta on the right side, and as you're going to see, it doesn't actually look like a good Pokemon. That's the thing as well. I don't think that this Pokemon is going to be absolutely overpowered by any means. But being at rank 78 is quite interesting. I have no idea if this Pokemon is actually as good as it shows here. I have no idea. Honestly, will be an interesting one. Like, again, we're very likely going to take a look at basically every kind of change here in the Go Battle League as well, live when the new season drops. So definitely stay tuned for this. Subscribe if you haven't. And we can move on to the next Pokemon. Next one we talk about is Ferret. Ferret is going to get 2 buffs basically, getting access to Swift and getting access to Trailblaze, giving this Pokemon a great coverage, because this was the issue for the Pokemon. It doesn't have great charge moves. Now all of a sudden it is going to climb up by 200 rankings, from 231 to 31 in the Open Great League. Top tier Pokemon now with Sucker Punch, Swift, Trailblaze. Having a stab move is really good. Having Sucker Punch, especially in a meta where a lot of Ghost type Pokemon going to be around, is going to be amazing. And Trailblaze for coverage against the ground types, making this a very good Pokemon, making it most likely one of the strongest Pokemon to run right now, because you're also going to have the neutral damage coming up against normal type Pokemon, and also the super effective damage coming up against Diggersby. So I would assume that Ferret is going to be one of the best Pokemon to run for the new season, which I love to see, because like, look at him. Like, literally look at him. This Pokemon looks like such a fun Pokemon to run again. I have this Pokemon built already, which I'm really happy about. It's a long boy. It goes up elevators, and we're gonna move up now to the next Pokemon. I'm kind of actually hyped for this Pokemon here, Mew. Climbing up 224 ranks here. It got nerfed before with Surf getting nerfed, but this Pokemon now gets all the way up here again into the top 100, just barely at the number 98 state there, with Psyshock getting buffed. And as you're gonna see here, it looks like a very solid one. As you can see, we're going to have a plus 7 wins increase, which is cool. The average rating increased by nearly 60. it looks very solid. It doesn't look like overpowered by any means, but I think it's going to be a great safe swap, especially has basically play against everything and still has a solid coverage against a lot of the Pokemon. For example, for Mandamus, you still have the Wild Charge. So yeah, Mew still, I feel like, has some potential for the new season. Definitely a Pokemon I want to take a look at because I do think it's a great Pokemon to run. Yeah, Psyshock definitely kind of underrated before, but I know where Psyshock got changed is also great for pacing because that's the issue. Surf got changed in a way that it was basically unusable because you needed an extra fast move every single time, which was really annoying for it. But now where the Psyshock is going to be now only a 40 energy move very likely with 70 damage and stab, this move is going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be really, really nice to have on this Pokemon. And so for sure something worth getting for you. There are going to be definitely teams coming up for this Pokemon. I am very excited for this boy because I just think it's a great Pokemon to have. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Lapras. This Pokemon is all the way up at number 3 for the new season, which is really ridiculous. Like, this is really, really good. Number 3 here, most likely a lot of people didn't really expect this Pokemon to be that crazy good, but yeah, number 3 is going to be really, really nice for this one. And climb up 239 ranks is ridiculous thanks to the new fast move of, yeah, what's called the Psywave, but also thanks to Sparkling Area being better than the Surf. And so it got a double buff and it goes up to 28 wins and 18 losses, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's like one of the best win rate that I've seen so far. Like, this thing is absolutely wild. And yeah, that's again, like, do you want to run Ice Beam here? You also have Scalbish on this Pokemon as well, as far as I know, which might be even the better play to go for. So yeah, this Pokemon definitely going to benefit quite a bit from the recent move update, and I do think it's going to be the Pokemon that most people are most excited about. Dusclops is going to be next. I was expecting this Pokemon is going to be absolutely insane thanks to the Hex buff, because I was looking into it before for like Pokemon that could get like extra Astonish and stuff like this. And this Pokemon here was like the one that I was like, oh, the evolution has Astonish, why does this not have Astonish? Dusclops is quite bulky. It's a really bulky Pokemon, and in the main series games it's even better than the evolution as well, because you can give it an Eviolite, but it's like, has just more bulk, it's just a little bit better with the stuff that you kind of want to have it done. But now with Hex getting a buff, this Pokemon goes all the way up to rank number 8, which is great for it, but also is really ridiculous, because I do think that this Pokemon is going to be one of the Pokemon you really have to be careful about, because it has so much potential to win battles for you. Like, you have the option to go ahead and go for Ice Punch, you have Fire Punch, you have Return, you have Poltergeist, you have the Shadow Punch. Like, literally, you have so many options for this Pokemon, which just makes it such a strong pick for the meta. And it's going to see as well, this Pokemon goes up to 19 wins and 27 losses, which, yeah, looks not as great now. But again, like, you have so much versatility with this Pokemon, which I think is the main bread and butter for it. So I do think that Dusclops is going to be one of the Pokemon you really would like to build for next season. It needs to have XL though, so like, it's gonna be a bit more expensive for you all to build it, but I do think it is absolutely worth it, and we can move on to the next one. Linoone. Linoone is one that we have to talk a little bit more about, because Linoone, we don't actually know if this Pokemon is going to be good like this, because the thing is, Linoone is going to get Trailblaze and Swift. What is the issue? It doesn't learn Trailblaze. It doesn't learn Trailblaze in the main series games, which means, in theory, I don't think it should be allowed to have this move right now. So, I don't know what Niantic does here. That's the thing. I have no idea on what the rule set is for this one. Niantic tries to add a move basically that is, in theory, not allowed to be added onto this Pokemon, and they have to be strict, and they have to kind of yeah, be based on what the main series games is doing. So I would assume that this Pokemon doesn't learn Trailblaze actually when the season comes. They're very likely going to find the mistake there as well. But even then, you still have Grass Knot, which is going to give you more than plenty grass type coverage, and is sometimes even better than the Trailblaze, because Trailblaze is gonna boost your own attack, which is great, but Grass Knot just gives you pure damage, which is also really lovely and helps out in a lot of those matchups. So yeah, I don't even know if it's going to be a bad thing for this Pokemon if it doesn't have it, but with Trailblaze, it's going to be very, very overpowered. I do think that the Ferret is better though. I do think that Ferret has just a little bit more play. So it really just depends on, yeah, what you want to play, like what kind of team you have, but I feel like Ferret is going to be better than Linoone anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it gets Trailblaze or not. Shadow Claw is cool, but I think that Sucker Punch in the current meta is just a bit better. here, I don't think that this Pokemon is actually going to be that good. Claydol here is, I don't know what the error is like this. Claydol, great, the rest isn't, by the way, edited, but Claydol, either way, here has for PE Poke, the Rock Tomb being at 50 energy, I think it's going to be 55. Currently, Rock Tomb is 60 energy, has a chance to debuff, it's going to get an attack increase and like a damage increase and an energy decrease there, so basically going to be cheaper for energy and doing more damage, which is going to be great, but I do think it's most likely only -5 energy, so I would assume it's going to end up at 55. If it's 50, this Pokemon going to be absolutely insane because it's going to get plus 302 ranks, as you can see here as well, on PE Poke. And so yeah, Claydol is going to be one of the main meta threats, but I don't think it's going to be happening. But again, I could be totally wrong. I would like to be wrong. I think that Rock Tomb with 50 energy would be kind of balanced, but I could see it just being 55. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one, and we can move on to the final one, which is not surprising. It is going to be Grumpig, climbing 955 points for getting basically Dynamic Punch and Psy Wave. Again, I kind of messed up the editing here at the end, I guess. It's going to be kind of ridiculous. Like, this Pokemon is by far the biggest winner of this meta update. Getting up to 25 wins here and 21 losses is going to be great as well. I don't think it is as great as number 7, by the way. I don't agree with this. I don't think it's going to be as great. The main reason for it, I don't think it has like the bulk for it, plus also it doesn't have the stab damage for it. Like, yes, you have stab Psy Wave, but the charge moves are not stab. So that's kind of more my concern for it. I still think it's a great Pokemon. It's definitely going to be a very good Pokemon to run. So, like, it's going to still be a very good Pokemon, and that's going to have a lot of potential. Especially Psy Wave is like one of the best fast moves in the game currently. And so, yeah, that's going to be it for this list. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you tomorrow.